最近，美国总统特朗普挑起了吞并加拿大作为美国第51个州的话题。现在，让我们来听一听多伦多大学 Rotman 商学院的高材生 David 同学对于该话题的分析和想法。
The final topic I'll talk about on this segment is just on America's hypothetical annexation of Canada as a 51st state. I think there are many benefits to this. I think economically, Canada can be absorbed into the strongest economy within the world, which is obviously a huge benefit. I think you cut down on a lot of massive government bureaucracy that kind of overlaps between both countries. I think there's very similar cultural values that both countries share. So in terms of cultural integration, I think this is a massive benefit. You can unlock economies of scale in terms of manufacturing. I think from an economic basis, it is very logical. I think from a political rights and kind of constitutional basis, it is a bit more difficult to justify this, especially coming from the Canadian perspective. I think Canada would have to surrender a lot of its autonomy to being a 51st state of the US. So under the federalist system, it would be, for example, subject to kind of the federal decisions from the United States and its leaders. It would have to be subject, for example, to constitutional rulings from the Supreme Court of the United States compared to the Supreme Court of Canada. I think that the current status quo where both function as sovereign nations and where they're able to trade decently, freely, and until recently when Trump introduced kind of these 25% tariffs, was already a good compromise. I think both of them are aligned very well politically, economically, and socially in a lot of ways. So annexation of Canada might lead to some short-term benefits, but I think ultimately it's just going to be met with a lot of resistance. It's going to be very unpopular. So as a Canadian, I would probably be leaning against such a radical change. I would prefer what we have right now. So that's everything for me in terms of my opinions on the politics. Thanks.